When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0.
Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future updates that I post on my community tab frequently. Now we start our story off in the Pure Lands. As you see a familiar black-haired man wearing a black kimono as Madara Uchiha himself. Reveal Madara Uchiha himself. After his defeat and death by Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha. After the rabbit goddess took over his body. Ever since his death, he's been the personal secretary of the Shinigami, the death god. Madara got done organizing files for the Death God for the new arrivals in the Pure Lands. Until the Death God, Shinigami himself, entered his office to see Madara hard at work. Excellent work, Madara. You have done excellent work these past centuries. I believe it's time. Time for what, Lord Shinigami? Your reward for your good behavior, of course. It's a shame, really. I got used to you being around. No matter. I'm under orders from Kami herself. I don't understand, sir. Because of your good behavior, Kami decided to give you a gift. Of sorts. What sort of gift, sir? Your rebirth, Madara Uchiha. Madara's eyes widen from that simple information he got from the Shinigami. Madara followed the Death God without saying another word. He was deep in thought of the simple possibility for him to be reborn. Madara found himself on top of a cliff in the Pure Lands. As Madara looks down onto the cliff, only see a spiral of water in a vortex. Inside the vortex is a bright light emerging from the cliff. I believe this would do good. Again, I believe this would be good. I keep messing up. I believe this would do it. Good luck in your new life, Madara Uchiha. I can't wait to see what you do. As the Shinigami kick Madara in the back, as Madara begins to fall into the light. The last thing Madara saw was a bright flash of light. As we cut several centuries or two, as you see a young baby in the nursery in the Uchiha clan house in the outskirts of Japan, a couple of miles away from the city. Over the process of time, the Uchiha managed to survive. When the age of heroes began, they switched from being assassins to heroes. Most Uchiha take the place of power in the safety committee, and the rest are pro-heroes. Even now, their rivalry with the Senju survive, as well as the members of Members of that clan developed green hair and green eyes. Even the Uzumaki clan managed to survive in numbers alongside with the Hyugas. Right next to the male baby is Madara's twin sister, Makoto Uchiha. When the two twins were born, the moon turned a bright red, like the moon was bleeding. Because of that, his mother named him Madara Uchiha to honor their ancestor, the most powerful Uchiha that ever lived. And she named her daughter Makoto Uchiha, a past Uchiha that most female members respect with great honor before her untimely death by the hands of her son. Because if his sister was born first, she was named the clan heir of the Uchiha clan. They were immediately separated after their birth, so Makoto Uchiha will begin her studies when it becomes required of her. When she becomes clan head, to make sure she knows all she needs to know. The Uchiha clan left young Madara to his own devices after the baby years of his life, while his sister gets personal trained by his parents. Madara was left to train himself when he became of age. 5-year-old Madara turned 5 years old. He began his training because of his chakra network that his entire clan has in their body. They never develop quirks. The Uchiha clan finds these quirks to be lacking. The entire clan finds chakra to be more superior to that genetic defect that is known as quirks that most people of this world has developed. As you see a 6-year-old Madara Uchiha outside his clan compound, training with his kunai in the deep forest that surrounds the Uchiha borders. For the past week, he's been trying to access his chakra for the very first time, but every time he attempts it, it always was unsuccessful, making him frustrated. So training with his kunai in the forest allows him to release some pin-up stress. Unlike him, his sister already has access to her chakra, already training with several fire jutsus under her belt. Madara has developed hatred for his clan from an early age. He despised his mother and father. Only one in his entire clan he can stand is his talented older sister, Makoto Uchiha. If it wasn't for his elder sister, he would have succumbed to darkness. She was Madara's light that kept him grounded, and his closest friend ever since he's been getting very violent memories or dreams. Someone that looks like him but older. He's unaware that the dreams he's been getting is of his past self, the original Madara Uchiha, before his rebirth. He still hasn't realized that just yet. At first it scared him, but when he experienced several battles through his dreams, he started to get the feel for battle, and the idea of a worthy dance partner became his norm. He might not have been taught by his parents, but that didn't stop him from progressing. After all, he is still a prodigy. Much like his sister, unfortunately for Madara Uchiha, Makoto has always managed to defeat him in their spars, no matter how fast or strong he gets. His sister is always one step ahead of him. Makoto watched her brother train with his kunai from the treetops. She has a smirk on her face, seeing how much her brother has progressed on his own, without even any assistance from their parents. She does feel bad for him, but her parents are dead set on only training her for right now. As she took out a kunai out of her kunai pouch and tossed it towards her brother, only to see him dodge the flying kunai and grab it in midair and toss it back at her. She only tilted her head to the side as the kunai plunged itself into the tree right by her head. As she pulled out the kunai out of the tree and jumped down next to her brother and gave him a big hug, immediately with a smile on her face. You're getting better, brother. No thanks to our bastard mother and father. What do you want? I'm training. Excuse me, I just want to see my darling little brother. And here I was going to help you to unlock your chakra. But if you don't want my help, then I'll just head back home. Madara growled. Wait, I would appreciate your help, sister. As she continued to walk past him, waiting for her brother to say, please. As Madara sighed, please, sister. Okay. With a bright smile on her face. Alright, little brother, sit down. I'm going to teach you how to meditate before we attempt to unlock your chakra. They continued to do this for several weeks. When Madara got the handle of meditation, she guided him through the steps to access his chakra. A week later, he finally unlocked his chakra. Makoto was shocked that she was able to see her little brother's chakra when he finally unlocked it. But that wasn't out of the ordinary. When everyone unlocks their chakra, it materializes in different ways, depending on your affinity. Short pause, that little part is my own head canon, so I don't believe that's like true when it comes to canon Naruto, but let's go with it. So let's continue. Wasn't out of ordinary when it comes to their clan, but what she saw, what color his chakra was pure black instead of the blue that normally is the color of chakra, surprised her. After thanking his sister, Madara immediately began doing chakra control exercises to get a better grasp of his chakra. After getting a good handle on his chakra control, Madara finally decided to learn his very first jutsu, a fire style. After he checked his chakra affinity, Madara has a strong affinity for fire jutsu, his second strongest. His second strongest affinity is water. Then he's somewhat strong in his third affinity, lightning affinity. So Madara went into the clan library to learn hand signs for the fire jutsu that every Uchiha learn when they first begin to learning about jutsus. Madara studied the hand signs for the fireball jutsu for several weeks before he even attempted it for the very first time, Madara felt he was confident that he memorized the hand signs for the fireball jutsu. He searched the wilderness for a perfect spot to train. Madara found a perfect spot, a huge lake. The lake itself was big enough, far enough spread from the trees, so there won't be any accidentally forest fires. If Madara started to train, Madara began to do the hand signs for the fire style. Fireball jutsu. As Madara breathed in heavy and released, as he breathed fire out of his mouth across the lake, it wasn't very big. After the jutsu in, Madara began to cough, soot, from the jutsu. After he finally stopped coughing, he took several minutes to compose himself and began training the jutsu all over again, over and over again. Madara is breathing heavy as the sun is beginning to rise, as he wiped the sweat from his forehead. As he began his way back home, the moment he got to his room, he flopped down on the bed, immediately passed out from using so much of his chakra. Some time has passed since Madara began his mastery in the very first fire jutsu he ever performed. A year later, his father finally began his training in taijutsu. The clan head, after he was satisfied with his daughter training, he decided to start training his son. As he seen Madara sparring with his father, the clan head is not pulling his punches. As he seen Madara being tossed around and struck by his own father brutally, without even holding back. No guilt was displayed in his eyes. It's perfectly clear to me you don't have the exact talent as your sister does. You're a disgrace to the entire Uchiha clan. As he turned around to walk away, facing his back towards his son, his father doesn't hate his own son. He's just giving him tough love, the motivation. But Madara didn't see it that way. His back wasn't... If only his back wasn't turned, he would have saw the flashes of red in his eyes, as Madara's eyes briefly show a single tomoe, briefly before his eyes turned to pure black, to his original color. As Madara growled as he stumbled up to his feet to lick his wounds. Once Madara finally recovered, he doubled his efforts in training from hand-to-hand combat, kunai training, and mastery of his fire jutsus. He secluded himself in the forest, in a cabin in the forest. After a week of brutal training, he went back to the clan house to get some supplies. For some reason, he found himself in the clan library, as he saw a book that looked different from the rest. In the back, out of his Madara's curiosity was piqued, as he begins reading the very old journal of Madara Uchiha himself, where he got his namesake from. What the hell? What the hell is this? What the hell is the infinite Tsukiyomi? There's some sort of coordinates in here. Interesting. Very interesting. There you are, brother. Madara put the journal in his kimono. Hello, sister. Where have you been? You've been missing for several months. Mother was very worried. I highly doubt that, sister. We both know that mother and father only consider you to be the only child. They have not shown no interest in my well-being, or any type of affection. Might excuse me, sister. I have training to do. I won't be back for some time. You should come to terms to things, sister. Father and mother will never consider me part of this family or the clan. I learned from a young age, but they've never shown affection towards me like they do you, sister. As Madara walks past Makoto, emotionless, Makoto couldn't bring herself to say anything else. As she watches her brother walk past her without saying a word, as she clenched her fists, seeing her brother's cold expression, Madara left the clan compound to investigate these coordinates that he found in the personal journal where he gets his namesake from, until he found a small complex as he walks in to see a very old tablet. As Madara self-consciously activated his Sharingan with one Tomoe, when he looked upon the tablet, he noticed he can't describe all of it. Only a small portion of it, only a few words. When Madara went back to the journal to see if they had any information, he can't read the full tablet until till he involved his Sharingan to a certain level. Madara spent several days researching the tablet that he's able to read, learning the secrets to involve the Sharingan when he finally achieves it. Because he secluded himself from the rest of the clan, darkness began to creep in his heart. As a thought came to his mind about killing his parents, smirk formed on his face. The idea was appealing, but he shoved that to the side without thinking another thought onto it. As Madara started to come up with a scheme, a plan. But first he needs to unlock the Sharingan. Every time he tried to direct chakra to his eyes to unlock the Sharingan, it failed every time. Madara is unaware that he is at the edge of unlocking the Sharingan. Only thing that Madara needs to fully unlock his Sharingan is to put in a position to be forced to activate it out of great stress or pure fury. Depends on the situation. Madara is broken out of his thoughts by hearing some voices outside. I definitely don't recognize those voices. They're definitely not from the clan. As Madara steps out to see two villains approaching, when he stepped out of the building, I don't know who you guys are, but you don't belong here. This is Uchiha territory. Hey man, look who we got here. We got ourselves a lone Uchiha here. What you say, man? Want to have a little fun with the brat? That's a good idea, man. I've always wanted to beat down a Uchiha. Those arrogant pricks. Oh, I see. So you want to dance. Very well. I'll be your dance partner. As Madara got into the Uchiha Taijutsu. I made a small. I think I made a small mistake. I don't think Taijutsu is hand-to-hand combat. I think Jujutsu is the fighting style. What they call it in Naruto. I'm not totally sure. Like I said prior to a update on my community tab, I'm not really well versed in Naruto. Leave it down in the comments if I made a mistake. Then I'll be able to correct it in further episodes. So let's continue where we left off. Let's just continue with the story. As Madara has a grin on his face, let's dance. Madara charged forward, with chakra increasing his speed in his feet, dancing gracefully around his dance partners, and struck a palm strike into one of the man's chests, making him go flying against a tree. Madara immediately jumped upwards into a spin kick to hit his other sparring partner into a tree when he was trying to sneak around Madara from behind. As Madara gracefully landed onto his feet, Madara spun around, only to be struck in the chest as Madara goes flying, skidding across the ground. Third dancing partner. Interesting. If it wasn't for my fast thinking and enforcing my body with chakra, I probably would have been killed by that attack. This must be some form of super strength quirk. And the other two must have quirks as well. They haven't demonstrated it yet. I was forced to focus once again, seeing several more villains come walking out of the shadows, increasing their numbers by 10. So many new dance partners. I hope you'd like a dance a whole lot better than those two over there. Charge! Get the Uchiha brat! Madara get his kunai out of his kunai pouch in his right hand, from his pouch onto his leg, as he grabbed firmly on the kunai in his right hand. Madara used his free hand in one-hand signs, fire style, fireball jutsu, as fire shoots out of his mouth. As the group of villains had to separate to escape the fire, Madara used the chance to take a few of them out as he begins to do one-hand signs again. Tiger, ox, tiger, rat, water release, water bullet jutsu. Out of the 5 of his dance partners, was killed instantly by the high-pressure water shooting out of Madara's mouth, shredding their skin like they were paper. Madara slammed a smoke bomb and jumped up to the rooftops as Madara begins to take out the remaining villains from the smoke of cover, aiming for their vital areas by the sound they're making, aiming for vital areas of the body, as he instantly killed all 5 of them instantly by throwing kunai after kunai by a couple seconds apart. Madara landed right in the middle of the dead bodies when the smoke finally cleared. As Madara felt water, as rain began to drop, as he looked up to the sky, as the rain extinguished any trees that caught fire from Madara's fireball jutsu. I know I should feel sadness for killing these men, but oddly, I don't feel anything. as Madara felt something dripping from his cheek, as he wiped it with his hands, as he noticed blood on his fingers, as he took out a kunai to show his reflection, as his eyes widened to see his Sharingan in all his glory with one tomoe. I see, as Madara started to laugh hysterically. Thank you, villains. You've been most helpful. Madara begins to pile up all the bodies and set them ablaze, destroying any evidence that they were even there. It's best if I keep this secret from the rest of the clan. No reason to give him an excuse to get rid of me. Father's already wanted me to be handed over to safety committee, just to get rid of me. I plan to leave long before that happens. I have no future in the Uchiha clan. Madara spent the next couple years in the clan library, copying all the clan jutsus in several scrolls. Madara is very fortunate that he studied a little bit about sealing, making storage scrolls. Copied and stored all the copies in his storage scroll. Several. There's a lot of jutsus he had to copy, alongside with supplies. Then he left the clan house at the dead of night. Only evidence he left was a small letter to his sister, saying his goodbyes. The moment he left the clan house, he burst into a run with chakra, enforcing his legs to increase his speed to the nearest city. Madara entered the city. He was amazed by the buildings. There was so much difference compared to the city, compared to the Uchiha clan compound. The city is quite amazing, but I could tour the city later. I need to find a place to stay, considering I don't have much money. I'll have to stay at an abandoned building most likely. As Madara began walking on side of the building to get to the rooftops, as he begins jumping from rooftop to rooftop. After searching for a while, Madara found a abandoned factory, so he made himself comfortable in one of the rooms. The next night, he went out to get himself with the city. He doesn't plan to stay in the city for very long, or the country, but it's good to know your surroundings. Madara jumped off the building to land on the next one. That's right. Anyways, next one, as he heard gunfire as the car is speeding through the streets, firing at a patrol car in hot pursuit from a recent bank robbery. Madara jumped from rooftop to rooftop, wrapping ninja wire around the lamppost as he swung downward towards the speeding car. As he dived right into the passenger seat, right next to all the pile of money that they stole from the bank. Madara sat back at the back seat, relaxed. Hello, boys. It seems like you guys have been busy. What the hell? Who's the brat? Madara dropped a smoke bomb in the car and began to seal all the huge bags of money in a storage scroll. As Madara threw a kunai with an explosion tag in the steering wheel, as he jumped out of the back seat of the car and began running up the nearest building, as the car spin off into a lamppost. As the car blew up, Madara smirked to himself. I would never resort myself from stealing from a bank, but that doesn't mean I feel bad about stealing from the robbers. I have money. Now I can finally leave this country. I need to disappear for a while. It's only a matter of time before the rest of the clan finds out I'm missing. Because Madara doesn't have a ID, identity card, like an ID. He couldn't board the plane normally, so he knocked out a civilian on his way to the airport and hinge into the man's appearance and took his ID from his pocket and entered the airport and paid for one trip ticket to the United States of America. Luckily for Madara, they were running late and delayed, so he had plenty of time to buy a ticket and go through the airport security with all of his equipment sealed in a scroll. He got past the airport security fairly quick, without no problems. A few minutes later, he made his way to a seat on the plane, sitting by a very fidgeting man, scrawny. Keeping the hinge on will be difficult, but with Madara's chakra reserves, it shouldn't be too much trouble. As long as he doesn't make physical contact with anyone. Madara hasn't mastered the hinge jutsu, so he hasn't fully fixed all the kinks. If someone accidentally bumps into him, the hinge will disperse, revealing his true appearance, and Madara wants to avoid that. And the existence of chakra is a well-kept secret with all of the shinobi clans all around the world. Only the Uchiha, Hyugas, Senju, and the Uzumaki clan know of the existence of chakra, and a few other people that stumble upon the ability of chakra. The clans are all scattered all around the world. His clan, the Uchihas, reside in Japan. Madara doesn't know where the rest of the clans preside in, what countries they actually settled into. He's never met any of the other clans. While the plane is in progress of taking off, Madara took out the journal of his ancestor and began reading. He spent a day or two on the plane. Madara heard a loud explosion as one of the engines to the plane explodes, as Madara sees flying robotic humanoids in the sky. Madara turns his head to see the engine on fire. Well, that can't be good. Madara put his journal into his kimono and braced himself for a crash landing, as he noticed his companion sitting right next to him is muttering to himself, fidgeting, as the man looks completely ordinary. Scraggy, short brown hair with glasses, wearing a white shirt and black pants. Somehow the robot slowly lowered the plane downwards. Once the plane touched the ground, several of the robotic humanoids burst through the plane and began to cuff everyone. As they begin to pull people out of the plane, Madara waited for the front passengers to be all captured before he acted. Hey nerd, you might want to get down. Dropping his hinge, revealing his true appearance, the man beside him eyes widened as Madara got up and started doing hand signs, fire style, fireball jutsu. As Madara breathed in heavy and release, as a burst of fire comes out of his mouth, making the robots blow up on themselves from the extreme heat. Well, you're on your own. as Madara disappeared in a swirl of leaves, leaving Bruce Banner to himself. First thing first, find a safe location to lay low, then to view my surroundings so I can formulate a strategy plan. Madara saw a bell tower in the distance. As he made his way to the bell tower as fast as possible, using chakra to increase his speed. After dodging several patrols from the robots, he made his way successfully to the bell tower without being spotted. After securing the room, he found himself in a couple levels down from the top of the bell tower. Madara immediately rechecked all of his equipment. When Madara looked through the window, he saw Banner being dragged away by some of the more of those robots. He paid him no mind, but he was quite cautious what exactly is going on in this place. So he decided to leave the bell tower, using the shadows from the alleyways to follow the strange-looking robots that are leading the passengers of the plane to a large castle. He finally followed them inside the castle after sneaking past the robotic guards that are guarding the entryway to the castle. To avoid getting spotted, he began using his chakra to walk on the ceiling, so he's kept out of sight. He eventually found himself in a window in the throne room, seeing a man on a throne wearing a green cloak, wearing some sort of metal mask with metal gauntlets and armor. With one motion of his hand, a Doombot dragged the pilot to his knees in front of Victor Von Doom. "You have some nerve flying in my airspace of my country, Latveria. Explain yourself." "Explain shit to you. And nor do I have to tell you anything. You don't own the skies. The US government won't allow you to do this. You're a brave one. Not smart, but brave. I'll give you that." As Victor Von Doom shoot out some sort of electricity comes out of his gauntlets, making the pilot scream out at pain until he falls to the ground dead, smoking. "Take them all to their cells for entering my airspace uninvited. You all will be punished, and your punishments have already been decided. Your punishment is death. Except for Banner, Mr. Banner over there. Take him to his personal cell. Me and him have so much to talk about. Take them away." "I like this guy's style. This is definitely going to be fun. Maybe I might be able to find a worthy dance partner by the end of this." Madara jumped down and hinged into one of the Doombots. While disguised as a Doombot, he found himself in some sort of control room with a bunch of monitors. Madara immediately went through the camera feeds. Considering no one's in the control room at this current time, unfortunately there was no camera feeds to wherever Bruce Banner and Dr. Doom is currently, as he did see all of the passengers behind cell bars on one of the camera feeds. "What do we have here? It looks like I'm not the only one trying to sneak in." As Madara watched the monitors, seeing a redhead woman wearing all black all black leather, sneaking through the city. On the other side of the city, Madara saw footage of the second intruder, a man flying in armor. Then on the other side of the city, Madara sees a man wearing blue, wielding some sort of shield. Free squad team. Fascinating. I'm guessing the woman's most likely the stealth expert. How seamlessly and fluid she's moving through the shadows. Let's help out a little bit. I'm guessing this thing has some sort of alarm system. I've never seen technology like this before. We don't have anything like this at the clan compound. But I've always been a fast learner. As Madara goes through the control systems, eventually finding the alarms and deactivating them. Now, what to do? Shadow clones would be very useful at this current time. Unfortunately, that juice would be extremely dangerous to my current chakra reserves. Even if I did learn the hand signs, I would probably only be able to make a couple of them before I run out of chakra and die from chakra exhaustion. But the reward would be definitely worth it later. Later down the line, that jutsu would be extremely useful when it comes to training. The only thing you can't benefit from that sort of training is body conditioning. No matter, I want to see how these new arrivals handle infiltration. Second later, there's a loud explosion went off, as Madara could hear a loud yell. As he searched through the camera feeds to see a huge green man. Well, he's a massive Hulk figure. How did he get in the castle without being spotted? I think I want to get a closer look. I can't really do anything here anyways. Madara made his way out of the control room. When Madara turned the corner down the hallway, the rest of the hallway in front of him is filled with Doombots going about their business. Madara began to walk past all the bots as he could hear and feel large shockwaves ahead of him. As he found himself back into the throne room, seeing Hulk fighting Dr. Doom. A few seconds later, the three-man squad come into the fray. As Madara dispelled his hinge and walked past a table to the side and took a bowl of fruit and walked to the throne and sat down lazily on the throne, began eating the food while watching the fight. Hulk smash, puny magic man. Hulk smash his fist into Dr. Doom's chest, making him go skidding backwards. Normally this type of force would have sent Dr. Doom flying back, most likely breaking through several walls, but with his new upgrades to his armor, it managed to absorb most of the force. Dr. Doom rushed forward and slammed his fist, aiming to hit the Hulk in the face, only to get double kicked by Black Widow that flanked him. When Dr. Doom tried to get some distance after that double kick, Doom shot out energy out of his gauntlets into a beam and shot forward towards Captain America, only to see his beam get reflected by Cap's shield, hitting the side of the wall of the room. As the shield gets thrown towards Doom, Doom simply backhand the shield out of the way, as the shield gets redirected back to Captain America's hands, as he caught it, as he immediately went into his fighting stance. As Hulk came out of nowhere and slammed his fist into Doom's stomach, making him slightly airborne, as Captain America jumped in the middle of the air and slammed his shield against Dr. Doom's head, forcing him down to the ground. With some spider web cracks, when he finally made impact on the stone ground, as Iron Man went flying around the room, unleashing his hand blasters at full power at Doom, as he goes flying against the wall behind the throne after he got up. He got up and he got shot by the beams from Iron Man. With pure anger, he got up to his feet and, not paying any attention towards the little kid that's sitting on his throne, calmly eating an apple. "You're dead." "Hey Cap, the good old doctor looks pretty pissed." "Cap, so how you want to handle this?" "We just need to keep him busy until Thor can rescue the prisoners." Aye, aye, Cap. As Stark goes flying, blasting his hand blasters at Dr. Doom, Black Widow finally noticed the extra person in the room on the throne eating an apple without a care in the world. Before she could formulate a plan to approach the kid, she had to dodge a magical blast from Victor Von Doom as she jumped backwards as the blast hit the ground where she was standing prior, before she jumped backwards. Madara tossed the empty plate bowl over his shoulders as he hopped up to his feet. Madara did a one-handed hand signs, fire style, fireball jutsu, as he blew out fire at everyone, as everyone separated, turning their focus on Madara. The Uchiha couldn't help but smirk. "All of you danced very well. Mind if I join?" "Let's dance," as Madara shoots forward with a massive grin on his face, with one Tomo Sharingan Sharingan activated in both eyes. That's where we're going to have to stop it. I hope you guys have a good night and day during my time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.